As moms, we often wonder, am I doing enough for my kids? I'm here to tell you, you are supermama. That's because we have an undeniable superpower, our intuition, and it never steers us wrong. I call it our mom sense. Hi, I'm Kanika Chadda-Gupta, and I'm the host of That's Total Mom Sense. I'm a journalist, entrepreneur, wife, and mom of 3, twins plus 1. Now, if I had $1 every time I heard, gee, you have your hands full. On my podcast, I interview influential moms from various industries and cover topics that all first-time parents grapple with, from getting your baby to sleep to screen time allowance, your new normal in your marriage, and how to dedicate time to yourself. Learn and laugh along with That's Total Mom Sense. I know we are all feeling the angst and anguish that comes with the global pandemic that we're in right now. Around the nation, more than 124,000 schools are closed or are scheduled to close and are impacting more than 55 million students. Chances are that the novel coronavirus, COVID-19, has impacted your family and your kids' lives, and they are at home indefinitely until further notice from our government. As families evaluate how to keep their children safe and healthy while still learning, here are some of my recommended educational resources to navigate these unique times. I'm going to be giving you printables, my toddler schedule, worksheets for toddlers on letters, shapes, and numbers that I've received from my children's school, and an at-home scavenger hunt that I created. So that's going to be in the show notes on this episode. Lately, I've just been putting one foot in front of the other. And when we made the active decision to keep our kids at home well before the school closed or, the government mandated it, I knew I was signing up for becoming a homeschool teacher to my 3-year-old twins and my 1-year-old son. So the first thing I did was I ordered 2 desks, Melissa and Doug desks that have a flap to be able to store, books and crayons and things like that inside. I ordered 2 of them for my twins for their bedroom, and an easel that I found on Amazon. And this is an easel that has both a white dry erase board and a chalkboard. And then with that, of course, a chalkboard eraser, chalk, the dry erase markers. And, before COVID-19 really started affecting us in such a significant way, I had made a trip to Target and to Amazing Savings in my neighborhood and bought a ton of coloring books. I had paint by number books. That's something new that my 3-year-old twins are now doing. Big, thicker pencils, lined paper, flashcards, pop-up books for my younger son, blocks that are more like Montessori blocks. So I'm going to link products like that in my show notes. I just went on a shopping spree and I bought all this stuff because I knew the impending situation we were going to be in. As we're like about a month into this homeschool situation, it's been going well. I have to say I've just kind of taken the bull by the horns and embracing being a teacher to my kids. I actually created a schedule kind of inspired by their school schedule, but not really because timings are different. There's no commute or having to rush really, but I do like to stay on track because kids are creatures of habit and it's best to have them on some sort of routine. For me, because I'm a mom of multiples, I am making my twins schedule coincide with my younger one, my 1-year-old. So I'll include that in the show notes as well. But a quick overview, they usually wake up at 8. And so we wake up, we do our morning routine. It consists of 7 steps, sometimes put a timer on a phone and have them do like a little countdown. And you want to complete those 7 steps before the timer starts going off. So that's a little fun thing that we do to get our kids to not digress or waste time. But we start with waking up, them using the potty to do pee-pee, poo-poo, whatever it is. Step 2 is wash your hands. Step 3 is wash your face. 4 is brush your teeth. 5, pick out your clothes, and I help them put them on. Both of them are like, no, mom, I do it. And half the time they're putting both their legs into one pant leg hole, which is hilarious. But, I gotta give them an A for that independence. So they pick out their clothes, they try to put on their clothes. Step 6 is make your bed. And step 7 is say your prayers. We say a quick daily prayer and go downstairs for breakfast. And with breakfast, that's pretty much a choice between 3 or 4 things in the week. We do oatmeal, we do a semolina, in Hindi it's halwa. So I make halwa. There's cereal. I love the Auntie Annie's fruit blossom cereal. So they look a lot like Trix, but they're not at all artificially flavored. Auntie Annie's gets a gold star for that, for being a non-GMO, organic. So a really great cereal to give your kids. And, Trader Joe's blueberry waffles are also a favorite. So we kind of pick between those 4 or 5 options. They always eat eggs and fruit and milk. From then, I actually will give them screen time because I'm cleaning up the kitchen. And now, because there's so many virtual classes out there, there's usually a class around that 10:30 to 11:30 hour. So if you, look online or have accounts that you follow on Instagram, I actually have a virtual calendar that I can share with you that has a whole list of instructors who are putting out content, whether it's music classes or ballet classes or just kids dance classes. Most of them are based in New York, where I am, New York or New Jersey. But there's instructors all over the world that are doing this. If you follow them on Instagram, they'll do a live around that time or a Facebook live around that time, which is so cool. So you can do an interactive class at that hour. And that's what I have been doing now. And then after the kitchen's clean and I'm all dressed and ready to go, then we go outside, and we have been going for morning walks or riding bikes. Of course, we are socially distancing ourselves. I've never seen the neighbors out when we're out, but I have spoken to them, and I know that they all kind of step out at different times. It's important to get some fresh air. Kids go stir crazy, so they need it. And so do I. So just getting outside, we're not touching anything. Parks are closed. They have been for at least 3 weeks now. So we're not, going on any slides or swings. And it's sad. I mean, my kids talk about it all the time. They're like, I just want to go on the big slide. So it's just run outside, get on your tricycle, stop to smell the flowers, look at squirrels, ducks that are, on the Hackensack River right where we live. This is like really cute. But I have some sidewalk chalk, and we made a hopscotch board on our driveway. And that's something that I did in my childhood. So I can't believe that 30 years later, here we are going back to the basics and all things wholesome that kids should be doing, playing outside, riding bikes, playing hopscotch. Amazing, right? Then we come back in, we eat lunch, whether it's Indian food or they love mac and cheese. I try to make it healthy, include fruits and veggies wherever I can. And then it's Shrey, my younger one's nap time. So he gets his bottle and goes to bed for a good 2 hours. And even though the twins don't always nap, they have been after we have expelled all that energy outside. So that's been good because they do get a nap time while at daycare in their Montessori school. So I'm glad that I can have that time, that resting time for them at home. And I definitely need it too to catch up on work. Shrey goes down for his nap, and then the twins eat lunch and sleep for about an hour or so. And then when they wake up, they get a snack, and then it's school time. We do, whether it's math, reading, science, whatever curriculum I can conjure up for the day. I have done numbers. We did 1 to 100, so they can count to 1 to 100 and 1 to 30 in Hindi. They learn greater than and less than, and that was fun because they do already understand the concept of more and fewer. And so I taught them that. I was like, there's this alligator and he always eats the bigger number, and his mouth faces the bigger number, which is the greater or less than sign. And then giving them those trick questions where it's like, what if we had the numbers 3 and 3? then the alligator doesn't come because they're equal. And so they love saying that. We've done letters. I'm teaching them to read. It's easy to start, again, with the basics. Cat in the Hat is great. You go over those first two letters at, and you can make so many words from just that. There's cat, hat, mat, sat, rat, bat, like literally, so like you can get really creative with that. It's just adding really any consonant to A and T, So teaching them 3-letter words like that is fun. You can go over the vowels and with phonics, what sounds all the letters make. Even if I give them any word, if I say computer, what does that start with? They'll say C, and sure, they're not going to know how to spell it yet, but the fact that they understand the phonics is really impressive. You can do syllables, kind of clap it out. Those are just fun things to teach as far as like word structure is concerned. And reading, we have reading time where it's amazing how there's certain books that they've memorized. My daughter has almost memorized Are You My Mother by Dr. Seuss. It's like funny how she makes the sounds. She's like, a baby bird fell out of his nest, a lop. And like the same way that we animate it, she's animating it as she reads it to herself. So that's really cool to see. I taught them that shapes are polygons and there are parallel lines and perpendicular lines. You can go over, how many sides and corners. A triangle has 3 sides, 3 corners. A circle has 0. Like there's just so much that you can do. And you can look up lesson plans, literally Google math 3-year-old or 4-year-old and come up with fun lessons to teach your kids. And you'll be surprised at how creative you can get, as a parent. This one-on-one time, it's really special to connect with them and teach them in this way. Our incredible teachers do this day in and day out, Monday through Friday. But you can even gauge where they stand. They need a little improvement with their motor skills and how to hold a pencil and tracing. But when it comes to memorization, they are so on point, So like I'm seeing what the gaps are that the teachers would have seen, and I'm trying to figure out ways around them on my own as a parent. So back to the schedule. After the school time, we'll play outside again. When the weather has been nice, it's just been nice to just see everyone on their driveways. No one's really interacting, but, we're waving and you can see that, we're all like in this together in the neighborhood. And then we'll come home, eat dinner, and possibly do another activity. We love baking cookies. And one of the brands that I'm actually working with is Food Stirs, co-founded by Galit Lebeau, Sarah Michelle Gellar, and Greg Fleischman. And I have had them on my podcast. Galit is amazing. They have extended a discount code for my listeners, and it's MomSense30 for 30% off. So their products are organic, non-GMO, naturally flavored and derived, and at least 50% less sugar than other baked goods out there. You can follow along with their baking kits and, turn it into like a science class with your kids. They love mixing and cracking eggs and measuring. It's like this much flour to this much butter to this much vanilla. Or just enjoy the ready-made treats. They're available at Whole Foods or Amazon, and of course on their website, where you can use my code MomSense30. And back to the schedule once again, after baking class or even some worksheets or a chance to like color or just literally cut shapes of construction paper and stick it onto another piece of paper, then we're done. We go upstairs and do their nighttime routine. So that is they get their baths and then change into pajamas, get story time. Either me or my husband will read to them and we put them to bed. And so that's pretty much their daily schedule. And we try not to deviate from it because that's what they need to create this semblance of normal. They do understand that there's no school. They say it. They're just like, yeah, we don't have school, Mama, because of the virus. So they're saying that. But, we need to have some sort of set up rhythm at home to keep them going. And I need it for me too. When they nap is when I get my own work done for my digital marketing firm that I run. And at night, I'm recording my podcast. So it is 1 a.m. right now, and I'm recording this. You do what you have to do, right? I wanted to share, there's the virtual classes calendar. I'll definitely share that with you all. And there are printables that I want to go over. So there's worksheets that I have been given from their teachers that are great for recognizing letters, tracing, shapes, numbers. So I can share that with you guys. Scavenger hunt that I created that you can do at home. And there are so many toddler apps out there that are great for learning. And I just wanted to go over a few of my favorites that I've discovered. One is ABC Mouse, also recommended by my kids' school. abcmouse.com helps kids learn to read through phonics and teaches lessons in math, social studies, arts, music, and so much more. They have this little learning path where you click on different activities and you get to the end and you get a prize at the end. Really, any game on there is educational, so you can just have them click on it and figure out the whole thing themselves. It's great. Next is Khan Academy Kids, and they say that learning is joyful with Khan Academy Kids. Khan spelled Khan. They are an award-winning app with thousands of educational activities, books, songs, and games for toddlers. And I especially love that they have storybooks on here. I'm reading my kids' stories all the time, but sometimes they like to click on one that's animated. You hear different characters talking, so it kind of brings the story to life in different ways. So that's available on Khan Academy Kids. Circle Time is a great app. They offer kids classes for home, and they are basically run by a group of people who are instructors or child development professionals, and so they're doing their own little Circle Time hello morning song and music class and that sort of thing. So it's actual people, but it's great because that's something that the kids miss. ABC and then YA has 400 educational games in grades pre-K through 6, and the games are categorized by grade and subject. That's another fun option. Brain Pop is great for interactive lessons for older kids. PBS, they have a newsletter you can sign up for. You just go to pbs.org and sign up for their newsletter, and then you'll get daily activities to try with your kids. And then there's also these virtual tours that you can take. You can actually look at the rover on Mars. And this was a partnership between NASA and Google that offers this 3D replica tour. You can take a trip to Hawaii and see its beautiful landmarks and volcanoes. You can look at the Great Wall of China and then look at Yosemite National Park, San Diego Zoo. It's virtual tours of these places. So if you Google just San Diego Zoo virtual tour, you can go on there. So that's something you can do. And meditation. Oh my goodness. Meditation is a big one. That's something that we all can benefit from to center ourselves, and better yet, sit with your kids and teach them how to do it. A dear friend of mine, Tejal Patel, is the meditation mama, and she has a book that she just released, and I am having her on my podcast soon. So there's a whole episode where we're going to be talking about meditation for kids, but take a look at her website, Tejal Patel. You'll see her courses for parents and for kids. There's anecdotes and analogies that you can give them on how to breathe and count your breaths, and even and songs you can listen to. Children Beyond has a really wonderful station on YouTube. They have these mantras that the kids can learn to recite, like Satanam, which is just in the name of truth. And so hearing those kind of positive vibrations is always good for parents and kids alike. And fitness, get outside, of course, keep your distance from others, but get that fresh air, jump, skip. We were doing agilities, teach them a fun class, a dance class of your own at home. I love Bollywood music. So put on a Bollywood song and teach them. And if you don't want to, YouTube it. You've really, really got to take this time to be creative. And I hope I inspire you to do so. Like I said, I have all of this information included in my show notes. I hope you are staying safe and are healthy during this COVID-19 pandemic. It's so unfortunate what the world is going through right now. I mean, not only are so many lives being lost over this, we have, professionals who are on the front line trying to save as many people as they can. Hospitals are just overcrowded and there's not enough personal protective equipment. Like, resources are so limited. We're hearing all the news, and I am actually checking that on a site called worldometer.com. I'm not like compulsively checking it, but I do look at it once a day. And then, of course, I'm following the news channels that I like. One is ABC News, CNN, and I'm actually following Katie Couric. She's doing a lot of interesting news packages on her Instagram account, which are like more backstory interviews and episodes from medical professionals on the front line. Wherever you're consuming your updates from, it's taken over. It has completely disrupted our lives. There's no denying that. But I try to be positive and optimistic in all this. And I think that there is that silver lining. We should just focus on that because, a lot like motherhood, you just have to surrender sometimes. When you have your baby, are you going to have a C-section? Are you going to have a natural birth? Are you going to have complications? Are you going to have an emergency C? Are you going to do a home birth? The way that you have to kind of relinquish to let the chips fall where they may, it's the same thing that we're having to do here. It's out of our control. This has happened now and we're in the thick of it. But how we react to it going forward is going to make all the difference. For parents out there with homeschooling your kids, just step up to the plate. It's exciting. I guarantee you, I'm actually loving this time that I have with them. And I think I'm a damn good preschool teacher, and you will be too. You will be so impressed by how you can take on this challenge. Sure, something has to give. There's not as much time that you can dedicate to your own work. I'm doing it at night now. I haven't worked out personally outside of, like I said, the walking outside or my agilities that I'm doing, but it's not as substantial. Sure, I could wake up early and squeeze a workout in, but I haven't been because I'm preferred to record a podcast late at night, but that's me. So there are silver linings in all this. Going back to all things wholesome and basic is a really beautiful thing. Let's just sit with those emotions. The time we now have to reflect, not give a shit about what anyone's posting on Instagram. There's no FOMO. Nobody's doing anything, So enjoy this special quality time because the only constant in life is change. And as we all know, this too shall pass. So hang in there. Always, always trust your mom sense and stay strong, supermamas.
That's total mom sense.